We made it to the end of semester. High five. Good job. Okay. So for the final project, I'm going to be talking about how to make mayonnaise from scratch, and we're also going to make a burger to put this wonderful mayo concoction on. We're going to be making a spicy mayo today. So first of all, I want to talk about what mayo is, mayonnaise. It is oil and water dispersed together in one solution. And you're probably thinking, what? Oil and water don't mix. Well, of course not. That's why we have certain agents known as emulsifiers or surfactants that can come together and make it a delectable, yummy, delicious product to eat. So we are going to start with, in order to make this happen, we have 2 egg yolks in this blender right now, 1 egg white, a tablespoon of honey Dijon mustard so that we have like a little bit of the protein and for taste, a dash of salt, and an acidic component, the lemon juice. This is for flavor as well. In this cup right here, I have a little over a cup of a mixture of olive oil and vegetable oil. And what we're going to do is blend this for 10 seconds and get it all mixed up. What we're going to have here soon is I'm going to blend it for you first, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay, so let's start and blend this on low for 10 seconds. Let's put the lid on and blend it on low for 10 seconds. All right, so now that we have that blended and smooth, we are going to now add drop by drop of the oil into this mixture. We're doing this drop by drop because remember, this is a water solution. The yolk or the white is about 98% water, and this is oil, so you have to add it droplet by droplet so that it'll mix in. Now, what's going to make it mix is not only the mechanical component of the blender, but also the egg yolk. And the egg yolk is known as, it has a component known as lecithin, which is going to be the emulsifying agent for our mayonnaise. What lecithin is going to do is act as a surfactant, which is going to reduce the tension between the water and oil components. Because remember, water and oil doesn't mix. So as soon as this mixture sets, if I didn't have an emulsifying agent, it would separate just like oil and vinegar do. So what that's going to do is create a surfactant, which is going to be composed of hydrophilic heads and hydrophobic tails. And they're going to take all these little fat droplets and combine it into a ball so that it can be evenly dispersed in this aqueous solution. Okay, so let's get started here, and we'll talk about it a little bit once this is all completely finished. Alright, what we have going on right now is as soon as this oil is hitting this solution, the egg yolk and the rest of the oil and the mustard and the lemon juice, that's the disperse phase, as soon as it meets up. Now, once it's blended into it using the emulsifying agent, the lecithin, and the blades from the blender, we create a continuous phase. So that's what this is going to create overall. We're going to have a continuous phase that once we're completely done, we do not want anything separated or dispersed. Try and create a uniform solution. We're almost there. All right, it looks like we are done. Good job, everyone. Now we're going to take this, lower this a little bit so you can see. Going to There you go. That's just the consistency that we're looking for. This uniform appearance that's taken place. Now remember, the egg yolks that we started out with were clear and more of a liquid phase. Now we have a semi-solid phase, and this is because of the mechanical aggregation we caused to the egg whites, which caused to have a phase change because the proteins were denatured and recombined to form new proteins in a different structure to create a semi-solid form, which is why this is opaque. We don't have any light hitting the object now. Okay. Remember, this is not a shelf-stable product, so we would put this in the refrigerator. And say that's good for now. And we'll be adding Tabasco sauce to this to make it that spicy mayo. So we'll put a lid on that for now and stick it in the fridge. Real quick, if there's anything I haven't covered yet, right now we are in the continuous phase. This is known as the bulk phase. Everything's dispersed in here right now. And also now these droplets aren't gonna aggregate anymore. We have the fat completely dissolved in this aqueous solution. And it's completely uniform. So if you like mayo, I have a bunch of it now. Now, let's go ahead and get started on our burger. Okay. Put this on medium-high heat. Let's get my burger out of the fridge over here. We want the oil to heat up first so that our burger doesn't absorb as much of it. And real quick, with the mayonnaise that we just made, I want to talk about the hydrophilic lipophilic balance, or the HLB number. This is the ratio of molecules that contain a hydrophobic and hydrophilic properties. This number ranges from 0 to 20, and it's known as Bancroft's rule. It's able to explain which emulsifiers are right to use depending on what you're making. It'll give you the HLB value. The type of emulsion is determined by whether or not its emulsifier is soluble in H2O or water. In this case, our emulsifier was soluble in water, remember, because we used the egg yolk in the egg white, which is mostly water. So I just wanted to touch base on that with you. Our particular emulsion required an emulsifier in order to be soluble in water due to the oil. So that's what that number is there for. And that's why we use lecithin in order to create mayonnaise. Okay. Now, what I have here is red meat. We're going to be making a hamburger. As you notice, the color right now is red. And what I want to talk about in this is the Maillard reaction. Okay. So within meat, remember, we have proteins and we have muscle components, muscle tissues. The Maillard reaction requires amino acids and a reducing sugar. Now you're probably thinking right now, there's no sugar in meat, there's no carbs in meat. You are correct. So in this case, where are carbohydrates coming from? They're coming from the muscle fiber, because animals need glucose to survive and fructose, and that's what is going to still be in the meat since that's what they are consuming upon the time, during the time. Okay, so as this is cooking, when I flip it over, you're going to notice a change, and you probably already know what that change is going to be. Now what's going on in the Maillard reaction is that the reducing sugar is going to combine with the amino acids. And what this is going to do is create new bonds, and it's going to change the color of our product. It's also going to give it a flavor and an aroma that wasn't there prior to cooking. So we're going to let this cook for about 30 seconds more. I can already smell the flavors that are coming from it. Now remember that this Maillard brownie is a non-enzymatic brownie, so there are no enzymes involved. Unlike what we see in apples, those require enzymes. Caramelization is another form of non-enzymatic brownie, but this isn't it either. So let's flip this. All right. Okay, so you see where we had that browning taking place right now. Some of that's also going to be due to the oil in our pan. This is mostly the Maillard reaction taking place right now. Now, things to keep in mind are that the Maillard reaction is going to occur most readily at 300 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what we have already hit on the stove. When the meat is cooked, the outside reaches a higher temperature than the inside, triggering the Maillard reaction. Okay, now just to recap what happened just a few moments ago, I want to make sure that we all understand. The Maillard reaction occurs when a reducing sugar is bound to an amino group, or the protein, and the reducing sugar is also going to be some form of sugar that was found in the cells or the muscle tissue. Once the structure is formed, there are many ways this compound can react to form hundreds of different byproducts. The Maillard reaction mainly results in compounds having caramelized, rich flavors and brown pigments, which is what we saw in the burger. The flavors of the Maillard are much more complex compared to caramelization due to the presence of the amino group. This amino group adds nitrogen and sulfur atoms to the mix of the calcium, hydrogen, and oxygen already there. The addition of these compounds allows the Maillard reaction to achieve a new array of molecules and aromatics that caramelization cannot. How cool! Okay, now, once the amine group reacts with the reducing sugar, we're going to have the Amadori arrangement. Now, this is an organic reaction describing the acid or base catalyzed isomerism or rearrangement reaction of the N-glycoside of an aldose or a glycosamine to the corresponding 1-amino 1-deoxyketose. This is much more chemistry than you probably need to know, but it's the second step in the Maillard reaction. Then after that, we're going to have the dehydration of the intermediate products, and then the Strecker degradation, which is a chemical reaction which converts an alpha amino acid into an aldehyde. Then we're going to have the reaction of intermediate products resulting in flavor compounds and brown pigments, which is what we ultimately saw in the burger. All right, let's see how our burger's doing. Okay, so we have this nice, plump, juicy burger that's almost completely brown throughout because of the Maillard reaction. All right, welcome back. Okay, so right now I'm just whisking together some Frank's Red with my mayo because I don't like the regular taste of mayo very much. This is the mayo that we made previously. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to dollop it onto my burger here. Okay. Alright, so I have my burger that we've cooked, and we know why it's brown. We have the mayo that we made from scratch, and now we know why and how it's made. And obviously, my burger is pretty well done. I like my meat dead. And I'm going to go enjoy this, but you have a lovely rest of your evening, and maybe I'll see you around next time. Alright, you take care now. I'm checking out.